you're going to see hundreds of millions, probably hundreds of billions of dollars, perhaps even trillions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin and other digital assets.
I can't believe this Wall Street legend just said this about crypto. Investing expert Rick Edelman has just issued a 60-day warning for all crypto investors. If you know somebody who owns crypto, send them this video. You have 60 days before this market starts to get crazy. You have 60 days before billions, if not trillions, enter the crypto space.
And I do expect that Bitcoin will continue to rise to ever more all-time highs. I think that it'll end the year over 150,000. I think it'll be 500,000 by the end of the decade.
So who is this guy? Rick Edelman is famous on Wall Street as one of the most prominent financial advisors in the United States. He founded Edelman Financial Services, which grew into one of the largest independent RIAs, registered investment advisory firms on Wall Street. His track record speaks for itself as he's built and managed billions in client assets, and he knows something our audience is also familiar with. Another major piece of crypto legislation is about to get passed in the United States. You have 60 days. Here is Rick Edelman's warning and message to the crypto industry. Listen.
We do believe the bill will be passed within the next 60 days. And this is further clarification. The Genius Act gave us clarity on stablecoins. This new bill will give us clarity on much more within the general world of crypto. And again, provides the rules that the traditional finance industry, banks, insurance companies, credit card companies, as well as the Fortune 500 generally, need to know that they're able to engage in this marketplace. They know what they're allowed to do, how they're allowed to do it, how they have to disclose it and report it and pay taxes on it. And this is going to unleash the burdens that have kept everybody out of the marketplace. The result of all this, you're going to see hundreds of millions, probably hundreds of billions of dollars, perhaps even trillions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin and other digital assets. And since all of these coins operate on a supply-demand issue, just like any other asset, we're anticipating this is going to be the beginning of a major source of inflows and price increases over the next several years.
And you know this, right? You realize the bull market today is very different than the bull market of 2021. You remember how crazy things got in 2021, right? Well, so does Rick. Listen to Rick explain the difference here. This is how things have changed in crypto in 2025 compared to 2021. I don't think the average person realizes this about the crypto market today.
When I wrote my book, The Truth About Crypto, which won a Best of Business Book Award, was debuted at #1 on Amazon, that was back in 2021. And back then, we didn't really know what the future of Bitcoin was going to be. Was the government going to ban it? Might it become technologically obsolete? Would investors not care? And so it was a big, bold, speculative bet to buy Bitcoin 4 years ago. You fast forward to today, and the fact pattern has totally changed. We now have an administration that is strongly behind Bitcoin. Donald Trump has made it clear he wants the U.S. to be the crypto capital of the world. We now have legislation and regulation that are favorable to the adoption and usage of digital assets in the marketplace. We have, as a result, institutional engagement that we've never had before. And for all of these reasons, it's now safe to get in the water. You no longer have to speculate, might this disappear tomorrow? That isn't going to happen. And we can say that with a high degree of confidence. We couldn't do that 5 years ago. So for those reasons, it makes much more sense when you look at the fact that we are very in the early innings of the development and deployment of this technology, that the profit potential is huge, far outpacing those of any other asset class. And that is why even conservative investors should have a 10% allocation, moderate 25%, and if you're an aggressive long-term investor, 40% of your portfolio.
So it is probable that we still have bull market left this year. It is probable that the bull market continues going forward. The question is, when will we top? How can we tell when the top of the market is in? Well, David Puel is an analyst who's been in Bitcoin a while. He's famous for creating a metric that accurately shows when Bitcoin's price tops and also good times to buy the bottom. It's called the Puel multiple. When it gets in the red up here, Bitcoin's price has topped, or it's very close to a top, and you can see that historically. And you can see right now it's showing bull market yes, top not yet. So here is David Puel of ARK Invest himself explaining exactly what's going on with Bitcoin today, and then his thoughts on what he expects to happen next going into 2026.
How do you explain what's going on? What's driving crypto prices right now?
So I think everything relates ultimately to Bitcoin's price action. As in most cycles, I don't think this one is an exception. What we've seen in the bull market so far is that Bitcoin has behaved as usual. If you track its on-chain analytics, meaning its inner economics, its inner supply and demand, which is what we analyze here at ARK. Usually what you see is for a global top on a 4-year cycle to happen, you need about a 2.5 multiple of market price being over the on-chain cost basis of Bitcoin. And right now we're only trading on the 1.5 multiple. So it's a bull market for sure, but not overheated yet.
So do you think this momentum for Bitcoin will continue in the near term? If so, what would it take? And what are some of the catalysts essentially?
The most played out in the media right now is the corporate treasury strategy and adoption across especially US companies. We also see healthy supply and demand in long-term holders, for instance, of Bitcoin, which we track on a live basis. And we also see, unlike prior bull markets, a pretty healthy price action and market structure, which is unusual for a bull market. You know, you always see the parabolic moves way back like in 2017 or 2020, 2020. But unlike those years, we're seeing a very robust, healthy, and with brief corrections as opposed to very long-term and aggressive corrections so far. So the expectation on a seasonal basis is usually you see tops the year after the halving year, which is 2025, but that usually happens late in that year. So more of a Q4 factor. So we're cautiously, but optimistic. Cautiously optimistic, but optimistic nonetheless.
Make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily. We're going to keep you informed on exactly when we think Bitcoin's top happens this cycle, but you must stay subscribed and watch regularly so we can keep you informed with everything. I hope you make a lot of money watching Altcoin Daily this year. One thing is very clear looking forward. Bitcoin is going so much higher. You must stay in this market. Listen to this.
I'm not at all surprised, I'll tell you, to see the pullback. And it's natural profit taking. We see that every time the markets hit an all-time high. People who have invested at lower prices are grabbing the opportunity to capture their profits. So that's not at all a surprise. It'll be short-lasted, short-lived, and the game will continue. And I do expect that Bitcoin will continue to rise to ever more all-time highs. I think that it'll end the year over 150,000. I think it'll be 500,000 by the end of the decade. But it won't be a straight line. It'll be more of hills and valleys, as is the typical approach for any new emerging asset class, and certainly germane for Bitcoin's history. So I'm very bullish about it, but it's going to be a jagged road rather than a straight line.